Like I said, we're speaking to Charles Owino. He's the former police spokesperson and now the deputy director at Kenya National Focal Point on Small Arms and Light Weapons, who, by the way, started his communication career at KBC. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
How are you doing?
I'm well. Yes.
Good. First of all, tell us, this unit that you're deputy director to, established in the year 2003, what exactly does it deal with?
I would want to avoid talking about police matters.
Okay.
The police has a spokesperson. I don't want to get into somebody's job. I would want to talk about myself and about my ambition.
But you have a job?
Yes.
Currently?
I have.
Yeah.
And I'm preparing to leave the service as a formality.
All right.
Because when I'm supposed to retire at age 60, but I'm opting to retire before that, 9 years before that. And the reason being that I have an ambition to get to a different line. I've served enough, and I'm allowed by law to retire at under the 50-year rule. I'm now 51, and therefore I'm only required to give a 2 months notice to leave. And I said this quite early in preparation for my departure from the service. All right. So I would not want to discuss service matters. I would only want to discuss about myself and about my ambition. All right. Remember, I still have about 2 or so months to leave. So I don't want to contradict the ethics regulations on matters of Chapter 6 that can easily complicate my future on some of these issues. Because if we start indulging on my work, I can talk about my work, but not what I'm doing currently.
Not what you're doing currently?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So
let's begin with the year you joined the police service. Before we talk about how you rose through the ranks.
Yes.
When did you join the police service?
I joined the police service in October 1992.
1992.
Yes. I'm now 29 years old in service. Yes.
The lowest grade of in the police at the entry stage?
Yeah, we were joining as constables.
Okay.
All of us. Yes.
And how has your journey then been? Because so many people only relate with Charles Owino, the spokesman we used to see on television every other day. There's an issue.
It's okay. When I cleared my college, I was posted to Railways and Ports Police.
Okay.
So I was posted to Nakuru Railways police station. So I worked for about a year. Then I got an opportunity to attend an elementary investigations course at the CID training school. And I went to the CID training school when I was just 1 year old in service. And I think I performed well. I was the best student then. Then I got an opportunity to join criminal investigations department. So I joined Criminal Investigations Department and worked in several parts of the country. And most importantly is I became an instructor at the CID training school, and I taught for about 4 or 5 years. Then I went back to Mombasa as in charge of operations CID. Then later I was moved from CID around 2004. And posted as deputy OSPD Turkana. I didn't stay there. I went to Kitale as staff officer administration. Then I went to Kericho as the OCS Kericho police station. Then I got promoted to become a superintendent around 2006. Then after that, I was posted as a staff officer in charge of railway police again. And then when I was there, then I started running programs in KBC, Know Your Policeman, on behalf of the police. Then in 2007, I was posted to be deputy spokesperson. I deputized Eric Raide for quite some time. Yeah. And in 2012, Eric left and was attached at Kenya Airports Authority. So I took over from him. So I remained the spokesperson. We went through the elections in 2013. End of 2013, I was moved again. I went to Njoro, I went to Ndewa, I went to Kisumu. Then I came back in 2015 again as the spokesperson. So I've risen all this time to the level of Assistant Inspector General, which I was promoted in 20 2017 early. Yeah, that's when I became an assistant inspector.
Quite interesting, and you talk about this time when from spokesman you posted then to Njoro and Diwa and then Kisumu, and you've spoken personally about it, and at one point attributing it to your alleged or perceived association with politics.
No. It had nothing to do with that. It was a normal transfer. Yes.
You have not said before that your perceived association has costed you something?
No. Because whom was I associated with? Actually, I'm in a very awkward position politically because a number of people branded me a government person, which is true. I am. When you are a civil servant, you must remain a civil servant. Actually, if you follow the communication now, how my opponents are trying to talk, because I've not left. Once I leave in December, then I'll face them what we call omundu humundu. For now, I have to be quiet and do my things in the right way. But I've never associated with any politician or any political affiliation. I've remained a civil servant. I've purely defended and protected the work of police, and I'm very proud to be a policeman. In fact, I'm quite proud to be a policeman, and I believe this is one of the best opportunities I ever got in my life. I'll never regret having been a policeman.
I was asking that question.
For association, no, I've never associated.
I was asking that question because you've mentioned it here, that sometimes you're perceived to be government, and your government indeed.
Yes.
And I'm talking about the last election, probably even in the year 2017.
Yes.
We even saw politicians in public podiums almost go directly for you.
Yes. At that point. They had to go for me because I was the police spokesperson. And being the police spokesperson, I used to articulate police issues. I want to give you a very simple example. The community where I come from has been agitators for a very long time. We've never had a person from our community maybe running government. Equally to so many of the communities in Kenya, it is not only our community actually. And then what happened was, especially you can remember during demonstrations, the constitution is clear that when you are every person has a right to demonstrate, to picket, and to assemble peacefully and unarmed. But as you know it, many a times when you are peaceful and unarmed, maybe nobody will listen to you. So you find agitators tend to do things contrary to the law. And when you do things contrary to the law, then you have to face the full force of the law. For example, if you go burning cars along Uhuru Highway, you don't know that you are burning your mother's car, you don't know that you are burning your father's car, isn't it? You'll just go out to burn vehicles. Now, the moment you do that, there are sections of the community who must be protected, because the role of the police is to protect life and even the properties and maintain law and order. So at that stage, sina rafiki. Yes.
That is where
at that stage sina rafiki, and I don't regret it. I can tell you specifically because policemen are officers of the law, and as long as I'm a policeman, even if it is my father who is on the wrong side, then that is the position. So I've remained candid. I've remained respectful to my service, because that is what has made me to be what I am. But equally, I have a private life. I have my own. I cannot be a policeman forever unless I die in service. But if you have life and you have an opportunity to live, then that is, it's just, for example, it looks very awkward for very many people to hear a policeman saying, oh, I want to become a member of parliament. As we speak today, we have many police officers in parliament. In fact, some of them left the service as constables, and they are in parliament. I even have, for example, one of our officers who just left. He retired as a chief inspector. Not retired, actually. He had not reached the retirement age, but he left, resigned, and he's a member. So we have so many policemen who are members of parliament. And even before, we had one of our colleagues who was a deputy commissioner of police, who was in charge of Police College Kiganjo. His name was Mr. Ngutu. He was a deputy commissioner. He became the MP for Kangundo, and he became Minister for Internal Security. My level today is higher than the level of a deputy commissioner.
All right.
And therefore, you find it that people find it very strange that, see, people leave their professions. People are engineers, lawyers. So I don't understand why it is an issue.
You're doing nothing different.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's talk about your legacy as the National Police Service spokesman.
Yes.
What do you think will shape your legacy as a spokesman? Because your critics say sometimes you defended police even when there were clear abuses of human rights.
You know, police is not an individual. Police is a service. I've always said that even a bishop, if you're a bishop, not Catholic, Catholics don't marry. They are celibates. But if you're a bishop in SEK or other denominations that marry, it doesn't mean you cannot have a child who is a robber. One of your children can be. That does not make you stop to be a bishop. Now, what happens is we are a population of 120,000. Yeah. One officer may make a mistake. Just like you've seen a doctor in the news it's alleged that he killed his kids, and he has also now died, alleged that he has committed suicide. Fine, investigators will tell us. But if that is true, you cannot say doctors are bad people. They kill their children. Are you getting me? So even policemen, if a policeman makes a mistake, he kills someone, he's a robber, he's dealt with as an individual. The police is the only institution where we don't take collective responsibility. You take individual responsibility. Okay. So when you come and say we are defending the police even when they are violating human rights, it's not true. It's, for example, we are in a community and your uncle has killed another person or another relative has killed another one. You cannot say this community is for murderers. The police has a big role to maintain law and order, and we must respect them, and we must give them an opportunity to protect us. So this idea of branding them, giving them a bad name, is not right. Okay. They do a very difficult job. If, for example, you look at my boss today, the gentleman takes responsibility of everything. He does not sleep. He has no life. He works for the country. So if you wake up today to go and attack him for another officer who has done a wrong thing, you will be demoralizing the gentleman. So what I'm saying is that, yes, I had a role to play. I had a role to protect Kenyans and a role to protect the policemen. Because those policemen who have not made a mistake, why are you condemning them? Why wouldn't you want your policeman to have a good name? Because it is said, when I want to give you a bad name, even when you're not a thief, and I start calling you, John is a thief, tomorrow we say you are a thief, then that will be your name, isn't it? All right. So I have the officer in charge of speaking for police today, Mr. Bruno, has a right to defend those policemen, especially those who have not committed any offense. Okay. And that is your duty. And remember, it is a PR. It's the director in charge of corporate affairs. So I don't regret it. I like it. I loved my job. And I don't regret. And nobody can challenge me that what I did was not right. Okay. All right. I did the right thing.
Fair enough.
Yes.
The skills you've gathered over time in the police service, how will they help you in managing the affairs of Siaya County? For example, if you're elected as governor?
You know, the most important thing is management. How do you manage the affairs of your county? It is a government. We have two levels of government: the national government and the county government. The same way the government is run. And remember, as a policeman, we fall under the executive wing of the government. The police, when I always say it's the tool of the executive, people say it's not a good word, but we work for the executive, and that gives us an opportunity. We are amongst very few people who allegedly work for 24 hours. None of us wakes up after 5. We start waking up at 3, at 4, and the latest a policeman who is going on duty in the morning can wake up is at 4, because as a manager we have to receive morning call-ups from all over. As long as from the level of an OCS, the level of an OSPD going up, you must wake up at that hour, get to know what has happened in your area, and brief your bosses. But for the purpose of county management, our county government, our county Siaya, there's a lot that maybe you will read in my manifesto. My manifesto is not written by a third party, it's written by me. And it is an inherent manifesto.
Okay.
Because what I'm looking at is the background where we came from. Poor backgrounds. Some of us having lost their fathers very early. So you remain with your mother and you see what she does. And I look at where we were as children in the 70s, when there was a lot of food, and where we are today. Because in the 70s, I don't think in my village, we had people who could go hungry. But then we look at where we are today, where people go hungry. So you'll find that my first priority would be ensuring that there's food security. But this also goes on my background because I'm a farmer. Despite the fact that I've been a policeman, I've been involved in farming. I'm a big fish farmer. I farm vegetables, I farm chicken, I farm all sorts of food items that people require. And my major priority is to ensure that there's food security, that there's enough. And on top of having what is enough is to ensure that these individuals have money in their pockets and have food on the table. Actually, my slogan is ugali on the table and money in the pocket. So
ugali
that
on the table
and money on the pocket.
Okay.
So that even if you just plant maharagwe and you plant viazi and you plant mihogo, you know, these are items that you can sell, get money, put in your pocket. You can also eat it. So we are fighting for food sufficiency.
Okay.
So that would be my first priority. And given my background as a farmer and also given my background as a policeman, because I'm a hands-on person, there will be no shortcut for people. And we will move from that level because Siaya is very rich. You remember we have Lake Victoria. We have a lot of fish. My county has a very big lake, apart from Lake Victoria, Lake Kanyaboli. We have one of the biggest swamp, the Yala swamp. We have big chunks of land. If you go to Bondo, we have very big land which is still bushy, which can do very well in fruits. We have big land in Uyoma, which can do a lot of cotton. We have good weather in game, which can do a lot of dairy. So what's happening is that we sit on a gold mine in Siaya. So my duty will be only to develop the county. And on top of it, I just want to tell you
very quickly
that we as Siaya people, we have some of the best brains. We have the best doctors. I know you may have so many doctors from your place, but when it comes to quality, we have the best. We have the best professors. We have the best teachers. Even the best policemen. So what I can tell you is that we have a lot to manage our country. And that's exactly what I want to do, to push Siaya from a certain level to a slightly higher level. I've developed myself as an individual. And I believe the way I've managed my affairs and the way I've developed myself, I'm able to develop my community.
Thank you very much. But Director General, I'm sure once you resign in the month of December,
I'm not resigning.
The formal...
I'm not resigning.
You are...
I'm retiring from
the service.
I'll be subject to my pension. But what I would like to say is, when I've left, you will have an opportunity to sit me here and discuss with me politics. But for now, for the purpose of Chapter 6 of the Constitution, it's important that you protect my legacy so that when I live peacefully and I don't offend anyone.
Charles Owino was with us tonight, vying for governor in Siaya County. And of course, you've heard about his legacy as a police spokesman, and says, I have no regrets. That's why we wind up Extra Mile. Carol Jenga is up next with business.